Hey, good afternoon, everyone. It's Captain Chandler with your police department. I'm here with Rich and Taylor, and we have a special guest with us today, Pastor Regina Gerton, and she is with the Volunteer Network, and we brought her on because this is a great opportunity for her to share a little bit about the organization that she is now a part of and pushing as strong as she can for our community. But really what it does, it connects our residents and volunteers with volunteer needs in the community. And it just is a big help for a lot of organizations. But welcome to everyone else joining us. I see Taryn Tarter joining in and a couple of other folks. Rich, somehow you're able to chime in from your own Facebook account from behind the scenes. So there's another 14 folks watching live. And I know a lot of folks watch this after the fact, but we're just grateful that you're here. Grateful that you're getting the message from us and also being able to hear about all the good things that are happening in our community. And Irene just chimed in too. So hello, Irene. We're glad you're here as well. But Rich, I know you have a lot of good crime stats to go over. And Taylor, you have some safety information that's super important. I got a preview of that to go over. So folks, stay tuned for Rich and Taylor, but they're going to bounce off for a moment. And then Pastor Regina Gerton and I are going to talk a little bit about her organization, the Volunteer Network. So Regina, it's good to see you. I don't get to see you as often as I'd like, but I know you're super busy. I'm super busy, but we share a lot of emails back and forth, and we've been talking about this group that you're getting started. But really, it stemmed from the March 2020 tornado. I know that was a big push to get this for us in Wilson County. So just tell us a little bit about you and the Volunteer Network.
Yes, thank you, Officer Chandler, for having me. We began building this out, honestly, in the tornado of 2020 without realizing, which was when you and I met in serving the community and creating a volunteer weekend that represented so many different sectors of the community coming together to rally around our residents in need. At the time, I was serving as the pastor of outreach at Providence Church in Mount Juliet and continued in that role until the end of September of last year when I segued out of that role to build out the Volunteer Network. We are in partnership with Hands On Nashville, building out a centralized volunteer management hub for Wilson County specifically. So It's a platform for nonprofits, civic organizations, faith-based organizations, senior living centers and hospitals and schools, government organizations to partner alongside us for free to place their volunteer opportunities on our platform, and the greater Wilson County community to be able to sign up to meet those needs.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's a big help too, because, people call us all the time wanting to volunteer for something, and we may not have anything here at the department for someone to volunteer to and do. And it's difficult because you don't want to tell them no, and you want to try to point them to a resource. And it's nice that we have that resource in Wilson County, which is now your organization with the Volunteer Network, where people can go to find anything they can do to help others in our community on a volunteer basis. But then organizations sign up for you, and you can help, source the manpower and the people to help do their volunteer work.
Absolutely. We also can curate volunteer experiences for businesses and groups seeking to do good within the community. We have a team of 50 who are coming in from Kansas next week who will be serving with 4 of our different nonprofits. And they reached out and were wanting to give back to the community that they're going to be going to a conference with. And so we were able to curate that experience, which we can also do for local businesses and groups as well who'd like to serve. You can also sign yourself up as a group within the platform as well.
Sure.
Sign up as a family. It's not necessarily meant to take the place of an entity's volunteer management system, though certainly they can utilize it for that fullness. But it's meant to be able to amplify and truly allow residents a space to know that they can go to connect with the needs, especially in a growing community like our own, where we have new residents moving in daily.
Yeah, when the tornado happened, I was on the ground helping organize all of our response efforts. And a big part of the response was everyone just reaching out, wanting to help. And it was quite overwhelming for our department to try to deal with all that. And, we set up a simple Google form just to, capture the information and try to organize it as best as possible. Then thankfully the next day we had a meeting with you and other pastors in the community, and it was you and a group of others that really got that effort organized. And then when the federal government showed up, they were so shocked to see the organization that we had in our community and everything we've done so far to try to, get back whole again. And they basically like, man, Mount Juliet has it squared away. We're going to step away. And they let us handle our business here. And it was a big effort from you and from your different partners that you had helping out. But we're super grateful for that. And I'm grateful for what you're doing with this too, because there could be a time where we need it again. And I'm grateful that we have a source to already mark that check mark that we have a volunteer source to help us organize volunteers should we need them in an emergency situation as well.
Absolutely. And we're also working to mobilize a chapter that's called Volunteer Organizations Active in Disaster as well. We'll certainly be facilitating that volunteer management piece. But communities like our own who have experienced several disasters are postured well to even serve each other even better in the future, creating coalitions that essentially are extensions of Wilson Emergency Management Agency. And we've been in conversations with them. They've been very excited. So if community members are interested in learning more, that meeting's on August 10th at the Wilson County Lebanon Chamber at 10:30.
Okay. And this is, I think the acronym is VOAD, right? VOAD.
VOAD.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. So if you see VOAD, it's the Volunteer Organizations Active in Disasters, and those organizations help out when there's emergency situations and disasters in community. What a great resource to keep our community resilient and strong. It's awesome. How do people sign up? If someone wants to sign up, be a volunteer or connect their organization to get volunteers, where do they go?
Absolutely. You can go to our website. It's www.volunteernetworktn.org. And on there, you'll see a space where you can sign up to become a volunteer. You create a free profile. There's also a skills assessment on there if you'd like to fill that out as well. It allows us, especially in times of disaster, to know who our people are and what they're able to provide. And then you can also go on there to sign up as an interest to become a community partner as well.
Okay, very cool. Very cool. Anything else we need to add or cover? I really appreciate you joining us today.
No, it's been great. Thank you so much for your support, for all that you guys do to keep our community safe. We're so grateful. I was at a chamber meeting this morning, and everyone was just singing the praises that we live in such a safe community, and it's because of the work you guys do. So thank you.
Yeah, we have a great group of police officers here and staff members, but really the Mount Juliet community, Wilson County community is just a great place to be and live and raise a family. And, people like you are part of this community as a community leader and ensuring that we are strong. And I like to use that word resilient because, man, we've had a lot of different incidents happen and we recover very quickly from that. And it's because of our faith-based community and our residents here that just come together and make things whole again. But thank you so much for your time and have a good weekend.
Thank you. You too. See you later.
Okay. See you later. All right. Let's bring Rich and Taylor back in. Hello, everyone. What were y'all doing? We forgot Rich, Taylor. Hang on. What were y'all up to? I saw Taylor texting behind the scenes and Rich was watching with a lot of details. But that's awesome what Regina's doing. When she reached out about the volunteer network, it maybe been a year ago now, and just what they were trying to do and replicate and be a part of that hands-on Nashville type group in Nashville and replicate that in Wilson County. I thought, man, what a great way just to crowdsource all the volunteer opportunities in our community to ensure that everyone's getting the attention. Because when we see disasters happen or anything in general, most people wanting to volunteer, they call the police department, they call the fire department, they call the animal shelter, and we're good. It's the other organizations in Wilson County that may need the help, and that's where Regina and her group can help crowdsource that and get them the help that they need. But pretty cool stuff. But Rich, how's our weekly looking? How's our crime? Hopefully it remains low. It seems like it is, just my feel of things and me looking at the numbers ever so often on the daily. But how are we looking?
Yeah, so Kat, this week we're looking at July 6th through July the 12th, getting right into our numbers there. Calls for service, we had 1,091. Fire calls, 69. 17 crime reports, 93 arrest charges, 621 traffic stops, 229 citations, 28 non-injury crashes, and 4 injury crashes. So the crash numbers are fairly stable. Still not as low as we'd like to see them, but not really high right now. So surprisingly
Yeah.
stable for this time of year, which is good.
At least they're not in the 40s. The other 2 weeks ago, we had really low numbers, and I was grateful for that. And it seems like it went up a little bit, but not as high as I've seen it. So good stuff.
And on our crime reports, family disturbances were up this week a little bit. I don't know if it's because we had some warmer weather or what was going on there, but we had 6, 4 frauds, a few harassments and thefts, and a property damage.
Okay, cool.
And then on our arrest charges for the week, no driver's license took the #1 spot this week at 27, followed there by driving unsuspended or revoked at 24, 17 warrants, 9 simple possession of drugs, and 4 possession of drug paraphernalia. And that move over law is creeping up the list there. We had 2 arrests for that this week. But overall, some good proactive numbers on there this week.
Yeah, it's definitely proactive. When you see no DL, driving on suspended warrants, drugs, and all that, that is found by our police officers out there working to keep the community safe. And when they make traffic stops or when they, find people in investigations, they check them for warrants. They see if they're intoxicated. They work to see if they're in possession of any illegal weapons or drugs. And that's where those numbers come from. So our police officers do great work to keep our community safe. It's interesting. The way our crime numbers look is when we have crime that occurs that we're not able to intercept or stop, the offenders are not typically offenders from our community. They just live somewhere else. If it's obviously a family type crime, they are from our community. But a lot of this is just outside influence in our community. And we're just trying to keep our community as safe as we can. And then by being proactive as we can. And we are grateful for the work that our officers do. Thanks, Rich.
And those 2 move-overs, by the way, I checked on them, and they were both related to distracted drivers, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's if you're looking at your phone and you're not looking at the road ahead, you're not going to see the police vehicle, the emergency vehicle, whatever it is you need to do to move over. But you also don't see the hazard in front of you. And I'm reflecting to a fatal incident on 40, within this past year. And the YouTube video was still playing on the person's phone, and that phone was ejected from the vehicle. But the person was sadly deceased in their vehicle. And you just see that and you're, man, how is the phone still intact and still playing the YouTube video that likely led to the distraction of the person that just slammed in the back of a tractor trailer, and that's why we just advocate so much to people. Please, we just want you to look at the road ahead and not be distracted, because things happen on our roadway, and especially the interstate. And if you're going 70 miles per hour, 80 plus, whatever speed you're going, your reaction time is reduced tremendously. And by the time you realize that hazard is in front of you because you're distracted, you're not going to have any time to stop, and you're going to hit that hazard, and it is going to hurt you if you're going at a high speed. And we don't want anyone to get hurt. And to prevent that, you have to pay attention. And that means putting the phone down so you're always paying attention. And part of paying attention is more than just your eyes. It has to do with your brain cognitively. So if your attention is divided to a phone or another distraction around you, you're not really thinking ahead about what's happening. And it takes you longer to think or process a reaction, because you need your eyes, your brain, and your hands to drive properly. And when you have that cell phone in your hand and your eyes are focused on it, your brain's not thinking about driving, man, that makes it very, very dangerous. And we just want people to be safe. Put that phone down, hide it in your trunk, your glove box, something to eliminate that temptation. Thankfully, our phones now, they get smarter and smarter. They have features on them that do not work if it detects it's moving in a vehicle. Turn those features on, whatever you can, to keep you and your family safe, and also everyone else out there on our roadways.
All right, and on to the neighborhood traffic enforcement. Covered Clearview, Kelsey Glen, Providence neighborhoods, Golden Bear Gateway, Curd Road, Willoughby Station, Belinda Parkway, Park Glen, Jackson Hills, Tuscan Gardens, and Nichols Vale. 72 stops, 44 citations, and 5 arrests this week. Some good numbers over there.
Good stuff. Our traffic enforcement teams with our community engagement unit doing great work. And I just want to continue to point out the neighborhoods that they're in. They've been in these neighborhoods. They keep being entered to do enforcement as much as they can. Because we receive complaints for neighborhoods. We task these officers in these neighborhoods. And again, they've been out there. It's here. I look at the data, look at the GPS data, look at the stop data. Our officers are in neighborhoods doing everything we can to curb that bad driving behavior. And a lot of the times when they stop those individuals in neighborhoods, guess what? They live in the neighborhood. The neighbors themselves are contributing to the unsafe atmosphere of that roadway. And everyone just needs to, again, be safe. And driving through neighborhoods, you definitely need to be safe too. A lot more kids are out, biking, walkers, runners, whatever it may be. And that's why we task our police officers to keep our neighborhood streets as hot as they can with their traffic enforcement efforts.
And then, of course, moving on to the Guardian Shield, the top three numbers everyone really likes to hear about: the stolen cars and 165 recoveries, stolen plates, 69 recoveries, and wanted persons at 113 since the program has been in place. And that's what I got for you for stats.
Yeah, awesome. I think they got a Guardian Shield this morning. Was that right?
Sure did.
Stolen plate and methamphetamine, marijuana, and non-prescribed pills is what they got. But it's amazing what a stolen plate on a car will lead to, either illegal weapons in the vehicle or, of course, drugs are in the vehicle. And we're glad we have that system. Again, helps us keep this city as safe as it can be. Taylor, what do you got going on for us today?
Yeah, I just kind of wanted to talk about, we've been talking a lot about vehicles here today. So I kind of just wanted to talk about vehicle safety as far as identifying information on a vehicle. So this graphic is a great example of what not to put on your vehicle. A lot of times vehicles are targets for a lot of different crimes. We have, individuals that following people. So this graphic really just shows in detail what not to put on there. So you can see this person has, that they've got a baby on board. They've got a son that plays baseball. They've got a daughter that does dance. You can see they have their child's name under the little dance figure. So that's showing you what their child's name is. You can see that they are the proud parent of a child that goes to school. You can see what school the child goes to. You know the names from the graphics. You know that they probably have a spouse that works in an oil field. So that spouse is probably not home all the time. They like to hunt. So they may have expensive hunting equipment at home. So all this information that you put on your vehicle is kind of crucial in someone being able to identify what you do, where you live, how many children you have, what your children's names are. So it's really important that you keep your vehicle clean and free from all these bumper stickers that say, where your family lives, what they like to do, things like that. So I just kind of wanted to share that information and put it out just so people are aware. These are things you don't really think about. You don't think about putting that bumper sticker on your vehicle that says where your child goes to school. You want to be proud of them. You want to put things like that on your car, but it's important to keep those things, put them on a fridge or things like that where you're able to display them, but in a safer environment. So I just kind of wanted to share this because I think it's very important for the safety of children and your family.
Yeah, I appreciate the stuff you're sharing because it's stuff people don't think about all the time,
Right.
and we can bring more awareness to it. And this is definitely something that brings awareness to how the back of your car can be a billboard about who you are or what's in your vehicle. We had those incidents at the Amazon parking lot a couple months ago where the only vehicles that were burglarized had stickers on the back of their car that basically said they were a gun owner and a strong gun owner, vehicle protected by, such and such or gun brand name, different words spelled out with guns, and those thieves, they're smart. They're thinking I could probably have a greater reward, right? Because they're looking at the greatest reward when they commit crime with that car, because that car likely has guns in it because all the stickers on the back of the car.
Right.
Well, they bust the window. Guess what they find? They find the guns and stuff in the car, and they steal those guns. And then those people call us and report that their guns are stolen.
Right.
But you're just advertising it. But also with guns, folks, please secure those weapons because the criminals are breaking into cars or just opening unlocked car doors and finding these guns. And then they're using these guns in more serious crimes in the Nashville area. Nashville Metro Police puts this out all the time. We try to advocate for it. Please, please, please just secure your gun. In my personal vehicle, I have a metal safe that my gun goes into if I cannot carry it on my person for some reason. And that metal safe is then bolted in my vehicle. So it'll be very difficult for someone to have access to my firearm. And, it didn't cost that much to make that happen. And there's tons of different options. You can find them on Amazon all the way to different stores around the community, your sports stores, but there are different safes and stuff you can buy to secure your weapons so they're not getting in the hands of criminals out there committing serious crimes.
Yep, and I also wanted to mention too, the license plates, the personalized license plates is another big one that just makes your vehicle a target for someone to remember that specific license plate. I know people think it's cool and it's a neat little feature, but it does make you vulnerable for someone to remember that license plate.
Yeah, you're right. You're right, Taylor. Rich, what about the Yoda sticker on the back of your truck?
Actually, I don't have a Yoda sticker on my truck.
I'm surprised you don't.
I am as well.
Yeah, right. I thought you did. I thought you had a little Yoda symbol.
Nope, I got a Cubs sticker.
I was just about to say, I know you have a Cubs sticker.
Yeah.
Okay, I gotcha. Rich, folks, is a lover of all things Yoda Star Wars, right? Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
If I say Star Trek, I may offend him.
That's okay.
Maybe okay. All right. Hey,
tell
us how the weather. How's the weather going to look today and this weekend with Celebrate Mount Juliet coming up?
Yeah, so right now we're up in the low 90s, so it's hot out, y'all. And hydrate. We can't stress it enough. Drink a lot of water. Drink some Gatorade and Powerade if you can tolerate that. Just remember the zero sugar stuff because you don't want to put a lot of extra sugar in your body. But hydrate today for tomorrow because it takes a good several hours for your body to process all that water. So start drinking water today to get ready for tomorrow. But currently right now we're in the low 90s and it's partly cloudy right now. But come tomorrow, they're saying we got a chance of storms at about 90% tomorrow. And we're looking mid 80s tomorrow. So temperature is not going to be horrible because we're going to have some overcast and clouds most of the day. But if you look at the radar right now, the rain front's moving in. So we should hopefully start cooling off from the sun a little bit, getting behind those clouds. But that time of day right now with all the heat in the air and the instability in the atmosphere, we have a small chance of some showers popping up that could be a little nasty. So just be weather aware in case anything pops up. But so far, nothing's forecasted to be severe today or tomorrow. So nothing really major through the weekend other than the chance of showers over the weekend.
Most of the rain, I think, by timing should be gone by the 4 o'clock time frame where the main event of Celebrate Mount Juliet hits. Should be gone by then. And folks, tomorrow is a big day for Mount Juliet. It's a Celebrate Mount Juliet event, large event at Charlie Daniels Park. Your police department and volunteers will be out there to ensure everyone's safe and to keep traffic moving. But we just want to take a moment now to talk a little bit about the event. There's a cruise in from about 2 to 4 down at Charlie Daniels Park that's leading up to the main event, which they call Celebrate Mount Juliet, sponsored by Volunteer State Bank. The main headline, country music group is the War Hippies with Scooter Brown and Donnie Reese. They will be singing towards the end, but a lot of good talent leading up to that. Cherie Hefner and the Cedar Creek Band and Oliver Still is going to be there tomorrow singing as well. And around 4 o'clock, that is when Chief Hambrick is singing his song, Community Strong, kicking it off with a prayer. And then Oliver Still is going to come in and do the national anthem. And I've been able to hear Oliver do that national anthem, and it's a great rendition of it. He did it at our volunteer basketball game where we worked to raise money for a local organization, and it sounded awesome. So I'm going to definitely be there by 4 so I can hear that myself. But a great event for the family. Food trucks, inflatables. There'll be a splash pad. There's tons of games, vendors, face paintings. I saw a foam area. I'm not sure what that is, Taylor. That's more in line with what you deal with is foam parties. What is that?
So it's, from what I understand, it's just big foam machines and they just will spray out and people can run through them and play in them, I guess.
I gotcha. Have you ever went to a foam party?
I have not. No. I guess tomorrow is
Okay,
going
yeah.
to be my first experience.
It will be your first experience. Mine too. We'll check it out. But see on the map, right there in the center at the top, between the playground and the athletic field, is the foam party. There's also a train museum. I've been able to see that. It's from the Hibbett family. It's pretty cool. It's in the community center. It basically shows a little model of what Mount Juliet was back before I was even thought of, or Rich was thought of, back in the days in the early 1940s and 50 time frame. But they have all kinds of stuff: music, different vendors, tons of food trucks, the playground there, parking lot, more food trucks, carnival rides, the cruise in. Just be a good event for everyone. And they have put a parking plan in place. You have Mount Juliet Middle School and the LZ Patton Elementary parking area, and also the LDS Church public parking. And then there are shuttles. And there's pickup and drop off areas for those shuttles. They're clearly marked. You'll be able to see those. A tip for everyone: if you enter off of Woodridge Place to access the parking lot, you will be able to park a lot faster, and it will be a lot smoother for you. If you come down Charlie Daniels Parkway, it'll be backed up. So avoid Charlie Daniels Parkway, cut down Woodridge Place to have easy parking. So you can get in quicker and then just shuttle or walk to Charlie Daniels Park. It's not that far of a walk. Also wanted to give a shout out to everyone in our community who came out to the honor of Sergeant Jerry Mundy and Deputy John Music. We went through the 20th year anniversary of their ultimate sacrifice, and the community came together just to show honor and remembrance of that sacrifice for our community. But a lot of people lined the different roadways. We had a blue light candle ceremony. The fire department was out there, and there was a big caravan of police vehicles that escorted the family to the blue light ceremony. So it was a very cool event. Rich, you got to see it from the very back. I was at the front and I couldn't see much of it, but from what you've explained to me, it was a pretty awesome experience just to see the community and the amount of people in our police vehicles that were out that day.
Yeah, it was moving, humbling. It was amazing to see all the support, not just from our agency, but all of our partner agencies that came out to support us and to support Miss Trish and the other family members that were there. It was truly humbling.
Awesome. Good deal. Taylor, were you able to make it out, or you had family commitments, I think?
No, I was there. I was able
Okay.
to ride in there, and I think it was very humbling and an honor to be able to attend.
Sure. Awesome. Give a shout out to both of our canines. You have Canine Milo on the left. He turned 7 this week. Man, it's hard to believe that many years keep going by. He is about 42 human years. He's getting old. You see that gray on his nose. We probably have about a year or 2 years of life left out of him on the road. But we want to make sure that he can still retire healthy. So service of police canines lasts until about 8 to 9, maybe 10 years old, just depending on how active they've been. But Milo still does good work for our community. And then on the right of here, you see Officer Jordan Brown with Canine Citron. Citron is definitely the newest canine we have, and the younger one. And Channel 2 was nice enough to let him tour the studios the other day and just check everything out, and got to meet a couple of the staff and the anchors of their morning show. But it was just a fun experience, and they got to meet Canine Citron and learn more about what Citron does for our community. And he's an awesome resource as well. How would y'all describe the dog's personalities? Because they're definitely different. What's interesting to me, though, is like the dog's personalities matches the personalities of their handlers.
Very much so.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
And I don't know how that is, but it just cracks me up. You got Canine Citron is goofy but talented. Officer Jordan Brown is goofy and talented. And then you have Canine Milo, who is more just the serious type of dog, and Sergeant Barth is the serious type of guy. So
yes,
it's a good match when they partner the dogs with their partners. Rich, do you have any better analogy on that one?
No, you hit it right on the head. I mean, Milo is when it's game time, it's all game time, and when he's relaxing, he's relaxing. And same thing with Citron. He like you, I mean, you hit it right on the head too. He's just like Officer Brown is, goofy, silly. Even when he's working, he's a little goofy, but he's very serious when it's time.
Yeah, you don't want
to
to get in front of them when they're on a mission. That's for sure.
Absolutely.
No, you definitely don't. And, you know, I got to watch a body cam video of K9 Citron apprehending a stolen vehicle suspect who actually has stolen multiple cars and drives them to our community. But this person decided to flee from us and wrecked out and ran from the officers. And Officer Brown deployed Citron, and the dog is so smart and disciplined that off lead, he is staying with Brown the whole time, right next to his side. And Brown had to get through a fence and jump a fence and get Citron over. So Citron, you know, disappears for a second as Brown then has to go through that fence, and Citron is still there. They run where they think the suspect ran. They're running together. They look, the suspect's down the street, and then Brown gives the command to go after the suspect. And that dog knew exactly what it needed to do, and it ran after the suspect and within Officer Brown's control. But super smart dogs, very talented, great resource for our community, and they help keep the officers safe, but they also really help keep our community safe in apprehending these dangerous people a lot quicker and finding them. And they also find dangerous drugs that are out there too. And when we need them to help search for other things, they can help find people who may have be experiencing special needs, right, and help track them down if they go lost. So cool stuff. But hey, just highlighting our canines this week because one turned 7 and one got to visit the news station. So cool stuff.
And not to mention they're pretty cute.
Yeah, they are pretty cute. Yeah, they are pretty cute. They're good, friendly dogs, you know, and it's just awesome to have such a great canine team here at Mount Juliet PD. But just add the graphic up here. Pull to the right for siren and lights. This is if that emergency vehicle is moving. Still see it quite often, but people go into the turn lane when emergency vehicles are running emergency traffic, and then you'll have people move to the right. Well, what that does is it just clogs the road up and makes a dangerous situation for that emergency vehicle. You want to keep the center of the road clear. So move to the right is always the best thing to do. When you see an emergency vehicle coming at you or coming up behind you, just get over to the right. If you can't move, just stay where you're at. Don't jump into the turn lane because that's likely where the operator of that emergency vehicle is going to try to drive into. And Rich, you've experienced this because you run emergency traffic and your response through the CSO program, and you're trying to figure out the best way to go. That's the safest route. And all of a sudden a car jumps out in front of you. And thankfully we're trained to deal with that. It makes it more complicated, but we're trained to deal with that. And it happens quite frequently. And I just don't know how. Because this is all clear in the driver manuals. It's the media puts this out quite a bit. We try to get it out to our community, but tell your friends and family, your new drivers, move to the right for siren and lights. And Rich, any input on that?
Absolutely. I mean, you hit it right on the head with that one too, Cap. Folks constantly, I don't know if it's another distraction issue or maybe they just weren't properly taught or what it is, but I mean, every day we see it, and they're either stopping right in the lane or moving off to the left, which is where we're taught to go when we're driving, want to run an emergency traffic like that. And it makes it more dangerous for not just us, but for them. Because if we're going where we normally would go to the left and they go to the left, we have to evade back the other way. You know, we have to be super aware of where we're going all the time when we're running lights and sirens. And folks, it helps all of us, make us safer and make you safer while we're getting where we have to go.
True that. All right, folks, if you have questions, type those in the comments. We like this broadcast to be as interactive as we can and provide an opportunity to our community to ask any question about what we've talked about or anything with the police department in general. We'll try to get to it, but just type that in the comments. We can see that on our screen and we will get to it. Taryn mentioned here, thanks for this. She always is in a panic on which way to move out of the way quickly. And Taryn, just always go to the right, and you'll be right in that moment. I got distracted by the crab truck. I'm not sure what the crab truck is, but Taylor, I think you know Ryan Chandler, no relation to this Chandler, but is there a crab truck tomorrow?
the Maine lobster is, I think, the reference that I'm not sure. Justin and Rocky were mentioning which ones were there, and I think they said there was going to be about 14 different food trucks.
We
My
might have
guess
to
is
check with Rocky and Bullwinkle on that one.
Yeah, may have to check with Rocky and Justin Beasley there.
And they actually did a live, so it may be on their live as well.
Right. The city of Mount Juliet did do a live broadcast, which was more detailed than what we talked about with the Celebrate Mount Juliet event. So if you want to get details about tomorrow, go to the City of Mount Juliet's Facebook page. You'll see that live broadcast with PIO Justin Beasley and Rocky Lee, the director of Parks and Recreation, and they're talking all about it. It's actually pretty entertaining to watch. I was telling Justin the other day, I never expected certain people in the city to want to do the live broadcast. And when Justin came on board, you have Kenny, Marty Potts, and Rocky Lee, all of them doing the live broadcast, and they do a very good job. And it's actually very entertaining to watch. So a lot of good stuff that Justin Beasley's doing for our city.
Quick comment on James Cothran's little note there. Yeah, I just noticed that a minute ago. Yeah, don't have to worry about people stealing my Cub stuff. Appreciate it.
Okay, I got you. Yeah. I guess Cothran likes the Braves.
Yeah.
It does.
And you're the Cubs. Okay. Little friendly competition here. Lisa chiming in, folks move here from other cities where maybe they didn't learn like some of us on how to drive. And Lisa, that is possible. I'm not sure, there could be different laws in other states. But I think generally the move over law is pretty the same, right, Rich, across the United States for the most part with moving to the right. But I feel you, Lisa. Could be different requirements on those, getting those driver's licenses. Gerald White, hello, glad you're here. Hope you're doing well as well on this living life.
What up, Gerald?
Rich, where's your dad at today? He's not on here.
Dad's not a big Facebooker, but yeah, he's at home just chilling. So.
He's not a Facebooker. He was on here quite a bit. What happened?
He was.
I don't know what he's doing today. I know he said he was going to stay home and stay in the air conditioning today. So
I don't blame him.
You can still Facebook in home and on the air conditioning.
That's the best time to do it, in the air conditioning.
That is the best time.
I always text him and let him know we're going to go on, but he never gets on.
I got you. We're missing Gigi though. Gigi is usually here. Oh, there she is.
Yeah.
The name has changed. Normally it just started with Gigi, so I didn't recognize it. Good deal. Glad Georgiana is here.
Gian.
If I mess up a name, folks, Taylor Givens will correct me on it. After the fact, I'll get a text saying you messed up that name. So she does call me out, but I'm terrible with names.
Easy ones today.
Now they get some easy ones. But yeah, folks, if any questions, type that in. So I guess all of us are going to be at Celebrate Mount Juliet tomorrow. I think, Rich, I'm going to get there maybe around 2:00. I'll probably be there into the evening. I think most people, though, will show up probably around the 4 time frame when everything gets going. But should be a good time. Looking forward to it. They put a lot of work into it. And just fingers are crossed that the rain will go away. And it'll be a nice event for everyone to enjoy.
Yeah, I know me and my partner will be out there. We'll actually be starting work around 2 because we wanted to get out there a little early in case traffic got heavy.
Sure.
So we'll be here a little early. But yeah, we'll be out here early and working and enjoying the weather.
Very cool. The good thing is there's different things you can come to at different times so that not everyone has to be here at a rush like the 4th of July fireworks show, right? Speaking of fireworks, there will be a small set of fireworks that go off at the end of this event. So if you hear booms around 9:00, likely fireworks. Well, good deal, folks. Appreciate you guys. Appreciate everyone joining and the team here of Rich and Taylor and just all their input and getting some information out to our community. I hope everyone has a wonderful weekend. Be safe. We will see you at Celebrate Mount Juliet. And Taylor, how about you close it out?
All right. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any questions, comments, just let us know. We're here for you. So thank you guys. Have a good weekend.
All right. Take care, everyone.